This is News 8 Now this morning.
A major winter storm is set to impact the Coulee region as early as tonight. I'll have all the details and everything you need to know right here on News 8 Now this morning.
Historically, the spring primary has never exceeded 20%. We're usually always somewhere between 17 and 18%.
Day to day, we stick to the healthy diet, do 30 minutes of exercise every day, whatever we can do. These are the easy way to do and to prevent long term.
The kids look forward to this day every year. I think it's their favorite day of the year because, well, they get cotton candy, they get to run around with their friends, win prizes.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching News 8 Now. I'm Dua Esrar.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is February 21st. Happy Tuesday. Derek, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right. A little bit overworked here right now, trying to get everything involved in our weather department.
I tried to lighten the mood by asking Derek if I should do the show on our seats, which I've pushed to the lowest level because I prefer standing.
I don't know what was with that. I'm like, that's a little weird, a little interesting. Now look how short she is.
Derek, how's the weather up there?
What happened to you? You just all of a sudden just grew shorter.
How's the weather up there?
Yeah, exactly. Up there, literally.
Up there.
Good job, Dua. No pun intended, obviously. But let's take a look at what's going on right now. We definitely have some concerns here to share with you this morning. We are under a couple of things. We got a winter weather advisory, and we also have that winter storm watch. Now, that winter weather advisory is something new because it was issued last night while you were sleeping. This is going to go from 6 p.m. today to 6 a.m. tomorrow. That's because we're looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow during this time, especially in those highlight spots. Impacts to evening and morning commute will definitely be a concern here. Now, meanwhile, we have that winter storm watch. The couple of changes here. It's going to start here at 12 p.m. Wednesday and go through 6 p.m. Thursday. Heavy snow, 5 to 10 inches plus. So the totals here are somewhat slightly different there, but still very heavy. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles an hour, and travel definitely could be very difficult to nearly impossible. Everything right now, though, is looking quiet on the satellite and radar picture. A few clouds moving in. Temperatures are well into the teens. And as we take you into the planner, we're going to be looking at increasing clouds late this morning into the early afternoon. And by late afternoon to early evening, that's when we start to tap into some of that snow. And again, it could turn heavy at times. We'll talk about that coming up in the full weather forecast. Dua?
All right, thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The name of the 6-year-old found dead in the township of Metairie has been released. On Monday, the La Crosse County Sheriff's Office identified the child as Alex Xavier Pedron. Emergency responders were called to a home on Saturday, February 11th, where they found him unresponsive. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The Sheriff's Office investigation says his death investigation is still ongoing. A local teen has been located and is safe. 16-year-old Stephen Burrows was last seen last Wednesday. The La Crosse Police Department updated their public on their Facebook page, thanking the community for spreading the word and sharing information to help locate Burrows. A Sparta massage therapist charged with 3 felony counts of second-degree sexual assault pleaded not guilty on Monday. 31-year-old Ethan Carls is also charged with 4 other misdemeanor counts of 4th-degree sexual assault. Carls is accused of grabbing, touching, or groping the breasts of his female clients. He worked in Sparta as a contractor at Peak Performance Chiropractic. The first victim came forward in 2020, but Monroe County District Attorney did not file charges until more women came forward in 2022. The state of Wisconsin has suspended Carl's license. He is currently free on bond. Wisconsin's spring primary is today, but the school district of La Crosse's latest referendum won't be on your ballot until April 4th. If it passes, the 2018 operational referendum will be extended an additional 6 years. The district will host a number of informational sessions ahead of the general election, the first coming tomorrow at Longfellow Middle. All community members are invited to attend to learn more about the referendum, and we've posted more information on news8000.com. Now, there are 9 candidates running for 4 open La Crosse school board seats. Today's primary will narrow the vote down to 8 candidates. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen explains what led up to the open seats and why plenty of community members are entering the race.
It's rare for a school board to have 4 open seats.
You know, there are a number of candidates, so if they're out on the streets getting the word out, it very well could, you know, pull in more interest than what's typical for a February election.
And the La Crosse School Board story started with the budget.
We can't count on the state to provide the funding that we need.
The board provided one solution, a new consolidated high school on the city's south side.
Mr. Abraham?
Nay.
Ms. Bellman?
Aye.
In the summer of 2022, the board voted 8-1 to go to referendum for that plan.
That would immediately improve the educational environment for over half of our students.
Just a few weeks later, board member Rob Abraham, who voted against the referendum, resigned his position.
Amid serious concerns of the future of the La Crosse School District based in large part on the leadership of Superintendent Engel.
The referendum had some support.
It's time to really come together and unify.
But some community leaders began to speak out. Many called for more of a say from the city's north side.
So that we can come up with a plan that better serves our entire community and doesn't disenfranchise half of our neighborhoods.
And in November, La Crosse voters handily rejected that referendum.
Regroup, reassess, to think about our path forward. This election has given us new information to work with.
Community leaders say they voted no because their voices weren't heard.
These are very diverse voices, and we need to make sure that it's all incorporated into a new plan.
And in one-on-one interviews with News 8 Now, many board candidates said their reason for running was to incorporate more voices.
Now come April, this board will look very different. What kind of different, though, is up to the voters. In La Crosse, this is Emily Haugen for News 8 Now.
Now, News 8 Now has conducted interviews with all 9 school board candidates. We asked them 3 questions, including why they are running and how they will address the budget. You can see those full interviews at news8000.com so that you have that information when you go to the polls today. Well, the race for open seat on Wisconsin State Supreme Court is also on the ballots today. Wisconsin has 4 candidates running. The conservative candidates include former Justice Dan Kelly and Waukesha Circuit Judge Jennifer Dorow, who presided over the Waukesha Christmas Parade case. The 2 liberal-leaning candidates are Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell and Milwaukee County's Janet Protasowicz. The top 2 candidates in today's primary, regardless of party, advance to April's final election. If either of the 2 liberal justices win the April general, the court would flip to a 4-3 liberal majority. Conservatives have held the majority on the court for the last 14 years. A Wisconsin judge has ruled 2 Republican-backed questions can go on April's ballot. The first question would add a constitutional amendment that would make it harder for people accused of violent crimes to get out on bail. The second asked Wisconsinites if they believe able-bodied, childless welfare recipients should be required to look for work. The judge determined the groups bringing lawsuits against those questions didn't meet legal requirements. If this decision isn't overturned by a higher court, the questions will be on the ballot in April. Now, before you head to the polls today, there are some things to keep in mind. Bring a photo ID with you. If you need to register, bring proof of your current address like a lease or a pay stub. And if you're unsure if you're registered or if you don't know the candidates that are on your ballot and want to know more information about them before you vote, go to myvote.wi.gov for that information. Now, this election will nominate top candidates for the general election in April. La Crosse City Clerk Nikki Elson expects a relatively low voter turnout.
Historically, the spring primary has never exceeded 20%. We're usually always somewhere between 17 and 18%.
Elson says that it's possible more people will vote because of the state Supreme Court race. The head of Wisconsin's Department of Children and Families visited La Crosse's Family and Children's Center on Monday to promote Governor Tony Evers' plan to increase child care access. Last year, the state used one-time pandemic relief money to launch the bipartisan Partner Up program. Employers paid for some child care costs, federal grants covered the rest, and employees got a free year of child care. Family and Children's Center CEO says 3 key employees are using this program, and if the program goes away and forces those employees to get different jobs, the result would be, quote, devastating.
And it would help us with recruitment to identify that as a potential perk for new young folks coming out of school or starting a family. That would be huge for us.
We're seeing folks drop out of the workforce because they do not have high quality, accessible, affordable childcare. If there is a bipartisan piece of this budget, I believe it's in childcare.
Evers' budget would use $22 million to have the state fully continue the program. Now, on top of election things, today is also Mardi Gras, and celebrations across the country will take place today, but students at Crucifixion School in La Crescent got a head start on those celebrations. Activities for the 150 kids in attendance included a toilet toss and a cakewalk. The event helped fund field trips and supplies for these kids.
The kids look forward to this day every year. I think it's their favorite day of the year because, well, they get cotton candy, they get to run around with their friends, win prizes.
With both fundraising and fun activities involved, it was the biggest event of the year for both the parents and the kids. Well, still ahead on your morning news, the new options United Airlines is offering to make seating a bit easier for families. We'll explain how you can guarantee a seat next to your child, and how one small business in Minneapolis is making ordering easier for everyone and spreading inclusivity with their menus. That and more is coming up this morning. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. It is time to indulge. Fat Tuesday is here, and the day is most closely associated with Mardi Gras. And Mardi Gras is actually French for Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday is the last day to indulge in food and drinks before Ash Wednesday, which marks the beginning of Lent. Fat Tuesday in the U.S. is most closely associated with festivities in New Orleans with its parades, king cakes, and beads. Well, don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
All right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Current temperatures are well into the teens. La Crosse is at 12 degrees, and I do expect that today will be a little cooler in terms of our temperatures, more so near the seasonal mark here into the upper 20s to low 30s for this time of year. As we head south now, high temperatures will reach around 30 in Lansing today. Meanwhile, just shy of 30 if you're in Stoddard this afternoon. Temperatures reach 24 in Arcadia, Melrose at 25 today, and Osseo with a high of 22. We're looking at low 20s across our north zones with chances of some snow showers around the area here too. Heading off to school this morning, here's what it looks like. Mostly clear skies, temperatures at around 13. On the way back home from school, we should be looking at 26 degrees with cloudy skies and maybe a little bit of chance of snow here in some spots here too. So we will be looking at mostly sunny skies this morning, followed by the mostly cloudy skies by the afternoon. And then heading into the evening, watch out for some snow showers out there for those evening walks. We'll take a look at that coming up in the full weather forecast in just a bit.
Well, in our consumer news today, Samsung has launched its new Galaxy S23 phone. The company says pre-orders for the latest flagship device in the Galaxy series was higher than the previous two phones. Samsung is promoting a new security feature that can stop a malicious image sent by text message from messing with the phone. The S23 also comes with a fancier camera and faster processor. Well, good news for families that fly on United Airlines. The airline is now offering better options to sit together. Kids 12 and under can now sit next to an adult accompanying them without incurring an extra fee. Customers will start to see the changes immediately. United says if seats are not available because of full flights or last-minute bookings, passengers can switch to another flight for free if the preferred seating on that flight is available. For many, ordering at a restaurant is something that we take for granted. But for people who are blind, it's not always an inclusive experience. A South Minneapolis restaurant is trying to change that. Kirsten Mitchell has the story.
I always get some sort of burger because they're really good.
At the How Daily Kitchen and Bar,
it's good.
Exploring the menu,
wild rice soup and a burger,
and placing an order.
I love the cheese curds.
Hasn't always been easy for customers who are blind, like Matthew.
And he comes in quite often usually 2-3 times a week.
Mary Rohr, manager of diversity, equity, and inclusion for Craft and Crew Hospitality, noticed Matthew always ordered the same thing.
I want to be sure that, he can try other things.
He inspired Mary to work with the State Services for the Blind to transcribe their menus into Braille. Last week, Matthew used them for the first time.
Honestly, I haven't read Braille menus in a long time. I certainly understand all of this.
Yep. There's not anybody that I know of besides like big corporate restaurants and stuff that have Braille menus. And so, that day he was able to read it and order something brand new off the menu. So it's pretty exciting.
That must be super awkward for someone to come in and not be able to read the menu. So that's great that they can make their own choice, feel empowered to just read the menu themselves and pick what they want.
The business says ordering these Braille menus was actually fairly easy and not a huge cost undertaking. That's why they hope other restaurants will do the same.
You don't need to have 20 of them on hand. You just need to have one that you can pass around if need be, but it's something that I think every restaurant has the capability of doing.
To get more people in here that have disabilities, it's great.
A simple step, making a big impact toward more inclusive dining experiences.
The more people you can get into your doors, make them feel welcome. That's, the best part about this industry. We get a little bit of everybody. So, let's make everybody comfortable and want to come back.
Now, Braille menus are just another step restaurants are taking to make it easier for everyone who dines in. Well, that's it for your consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that duo. Starting off this morning on a quiet note, but it is a little cold outside here right now with La Crosse checking in with cloudy skies and temperatures at 12 degrees. I feel like of -2 when you factor in 12-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the west, making it much colder than the actual temperature. Same can be said really for you folks to the north in Eau Claire. Wind chill of 4 below with an actual temperature, though, of 11 degrees under those cloudy weather conditions. Temperatures down to the south are into the teens, 13 in Prairie du Chien, 16 in Boscobel, 14 degrees in both Sparta and also to the north in Black River Falls. Let's get checked on your day planner. We're going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies as early as noon today. Temperatures at 22. Snow showers become likely late this afternoon, also into early this evening. And winter weather advisories have now been posted. These were actually issued last night while most of you were sleeping. We actually have one here for Rusk County. The rest of us mainly down to the south, which includes the La Crosse area, from 6 p.m. today until 6 a.m. on Wednesday. That's because snow is expected in these spots, which will also, by the way, have impacts to your morning and also into the evening commute. Now, it's all thanks to this low pressure system. This is our winter storm system, at least the beginnings of it, off to our west, and we expect this system to track east and affect us here as early as tonight. Winter weather alerts are in effect for a lot of us here across the western United States and also eastward, which does include us here in the upper Midwest, including us here in the Coulee region. Winter storm watches here, that is, for a lot of us, in fact, everybody really, from 12 p.m. Wednesday through 6 p.m. Thursday. Heavy snow here, likely with very gusty winds, and yes, this will also cause travel impacts to your both morning and your evening here commute. So let's track this storm system. It's going to move towards the east, there you can see, and then beginning to affect us, at least our western zones, by the time we reach the early afternoon around the lunch hour. And then we start to see this narrow band set up here across mainly our south and central zones around the early evening hours, and then it becomes more widespread and affects a lot of us here across the News 8 Now viewing area as we head into tonight. It's a very narrow, sharp gradient of snow expected to move through. And then by overnight tonight, we start to see some of this begin to taper here a bit. And then by early tomorrow morning, maybe a few leftover scattered snow showers. So there is our break before we start to see round 2 begin to move in from the south as this low begins to close in. And as a matter of fact, by tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see more snow showers begin to move through. Some of this could be heavy at times, especially by tomorrow evening. That's when we do expect that heavy snow to start up here yet again. And this will continue as we head into late tomorrow night as well. Now, as we take you into early Thursday morning, it's still going to come down as far as that snow is concerned. And yes, some of this may turn heavy at times as the low continues to move in our general direction. So there's going to be a couple rounds of snow moving through. I do want to take you through round 1, which is expected to move in this evening and continue through tomorrow morning. So there is that maximum snow total between 4 to 8 inches here, setting up across portions of our central zones, and then 2 to 4 inches around the La Crosse Cross area. Now, this is round 2 of the snow moving through, and this will lead to additional amounts to what we already have seen here from that first round. So we could be looking at snowfall totals very close to a foot or just under that foot range here in many spots through Thursday. So something that we have to pay attention to on top of the blowing and drifting snow. And that's because we are expecting wind speeds, or wind gusts rather, up to 30 to 40 miles an hour as the system closes in, especially as we head into Wednesday night and also into early Thursday morning. It could be pretty gusty out there. We start to see the winds calm down by the lunch hour on Thursday, and then by early Friday morning, that's when the winds will begin to relax quite a bit, and you probably won't even notice it by then. Your 8-day forecast shows us that we'll be looking at colder conditions for Friday, slightly warmer for the weekend. Chance of wintry mix, though, by Monday. That will be from our next system that we'll watch closely. Stay with us, though. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look at what happened on this day in history for February 21st. We'll be right back.
For the second time in 9 days, 2 of the area's biggest rivals going at it on the hardwood. Cardinals took care of business on their home court February 11th. Now the scene shifts to Cashton. Let's do it. Scenic Bluffs conference clash last night. Eagles looking to take down rival Bangor for the first time since 2009. Solid start for the home team early in the first. Nice look down low to Zach Milsner for the score. Cashton out in front and adding some more. Connor Butzler from downtown drains the 3. Eagles go ahead by 4, but the Cardinals claw back. Samuel Kropp gets a good look, knocks it down. Bangor takes a 4-point lead, and then it's Mr. 1000 doing what he does best, and that's score the rock. Tanner Jones puts the Cardinals up 8. Eagles trying to fight back. Brett Hemmersbach left wide open for 3. That cuts it back to 5, but the Cardinals coming to play. Chase Horseman straightaway 3 is absolute money. Bangor up a dozen. Then later in the half, it's Kropp again, opposite wing, same result. 3 more for the Cards. They're up 15, but the star of the night was this guy, Dustin McDonald, feeling it. The senior splashing home the triple. And check out the step back 3, cash. Game high 32 points on the night for McDonald. The Scenic Bluffs Conference champs do it again as the Cardinals cruise to the win, 65-47. Big-time Cooley Conference matchup in West Salem last night. Panthers hosting Luther. The Cooley Conference title on the line. Both teams with just 1 loss on the season coming into the game. Back and forth early on in this one. Cody Miller beyond the arc lines up the 3 and knocks it down. Knights up in front early. West Salem always seem to have an answer, though. Tamarian Henderson pull-up jumper. That's nothing but net. West Salem cuts the deficit. Luther keeping the pressure on, though. Miller with the drive to the hoop. Kiss off the glass, and that falls. This one tied at 19. First half winding down. Panthers turning up the heat. Carson Kepnick jumps the pass, gets the steal, and goes coast to coast. Panthers up 7 at the half. Knights not going anywhere, though. Out of the break, Miller in transition dumps it off to Isaiah Switzenberg. He lays it in. That cuts it to 5, but West Salem catching fire. Peter Latos in the paint. Bucket plus the foul. Panthers extend the lead. A little bit later, Kyle Haley finds Henderson in the corner. You don't want to leave him open. That's money. Panthers pull away 81-57. Latos finished with 24. Henderson with 23. And for Luther, Miller finishing with a game-high 26. Switching over to the Dairyland Conference, we have battle for the conference championship on the line between Melrose Mindoro and Whitehall. Pick it up first half. Seth Lambeck nails the catch and shoot 3. That's money. Then a few plays later, it's Lambeck again, this time from the corner. This would put the Norse up by 9, but back come the Mustangs off the miss. Trenton Frederick heads up defensive play, gets it to Presley Byam, who fights through contact and gets the bucket. Then it's Ty Zeman getting by his defender, faking the pass down low. He gets it to go off the window. This cuts the deficit to just 3. Next, Aaron Hansen pulls up, knocks down the J. Mustangs trail going into the second half. Then out of the break, Hansen again, this time testing the range from 3. He connects to make it a 6-point game. Norse would be too much, though, for the Mustangs as Whitehall goes on to win it 68-43 to capture the Dairyland Large Conference title. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Breaking overnight, a magnitude 6.3 aftershock struck southern Turkey Monday, killing at least 3 people and injuring hundreds more just 2 weeks after a massive earthquake killed tens of thousands of people. The quake struck near the Syrian border, and hundreds of rescuers worked into the early hours of this morning trying to reach the trapped civilians. Monday's quake is considered an aftershock since it's in the same general region and lower than the original 7.8 magnitude earthquake. Since Russian President Vladimir Putin imposed a military draft last September, a staggering number of Russians have been trying to seek asylum in the U.S. This is the first Russian military draft since World War II. In December, nearly 8,000 Russian migrants showed up along the U.S.-Mexico border, a huge increase just a few months after Putin's order. Over 22,000 Russians have tried entering the U.S. since last October. Well, in our medical news today, free sugars are sugars found in affordable and convenient goods we see in products, such as processed food, soda, syrup, and some fruit juices. But those free sugary foods are more likely to cause heart disease and stroke. New research found that every 5% of someone's energy coming from sugar, the risk of heart disease goes up 6% and the risk of stroke goes up 10%. Gunderson Health System experts say a balanced diet and sticking to it can lower the risks.
Day to day, we stick to the healthy diet, do 30 minutes of exercise every day, whatever we can do. These are the easy way to do and to prevent long term.
Researchers also said eating more fruits, vegetables, and fiber can lower the risk. In Antigua, Wisconsin, one high school senior is having the most fun of her career right now, getting to wrestle with her younger sister. Ben Helwig caught up with the Sensational Sisters this week on how they're taking advantage of their one season together as teammates.
Last year, Alexander won a state title at the first ever WIAA Girls State Meet. Her sister Olivia was watching from the crowd.
It was pretty cool. I got to experience everything there. Alex kind of led the way for me, and I'm really looking forward to going to state with her this year.
Alexandra is now a senior and ranked #1 in the state at 165. Olivia is a freshman, ranked 4th at 145. The two couldn't be happier to share the success together.
I find it very fun to be able to compete with my sister, going to the same place, competing at the same time, both going on the podium. It's very, very cool experience.
She's taught me a lot of different things and just little tweaks here and there, how I can make myself better. She's a really big role model for me, and I really want to live up to her.
Since this is their only year to compete together, they're hoping to make the most of it.
I saw two twin sisters at Fargo one year. They both took first at the same weight, and I thought it was really, really neat. And I was like, well, I get a whole year with my sister. That'd be really cool if we kind of did the same thing, only different weight brackets.
Alexandra says she's there to help in any way she can.
It's all about a mindset, so sometimes I just, try and be there for her, because there's not much I can give her pointers on. She's pretty good.
But the pair are just enjoying this time together.
I enjoyed this year of wrestling way more than any other year, because it's surreal, honestly.
Alex has always been like a leader to me, so this first year in high school, it's really nice to have her. She's really cool.
Well, that smile says it all. There's nothing like a sisterly bond. Both Alexandra and Olivia have qualified for state at the sectionals tournament. They'll chase that goal of taking first this week. With the arrival of a winter storm system scheduled to hit most of the Midwest, including Wisconsin and Minnesota, people are making preparations and gathering essentials before the storm hits. Kirsten Mitchell reports.
Do you like the snow?
Yep.
The snow on the way made for a busy day at Center's Liquor and Supermarket. As people stock up,
I want to stay inside. I'm trying to get everything to stay inside.
To hunker down.
We watch Wakanda a lot. Different movies. We like to snuggle, popcorn, snacks.
I did think maybe I should get some extra wine or, I don't know, some black beans. Just in case, might be 3 or 4 days.
We also need people to do pre-planning so that they are prepared to be able to stay in place for maybe a couple of days, even through the weekend is a possibility here.
Make sure you have enough medication. In case the power goes out, have an alternative heat source, batteries, flashlights, and a weather radio.
I was getting kind of low, so I was like, better fill up.
Jeff Watson had the right idea, filling up his gas tank ahead of the storm.
Rather be safe than not be able to show up because he got in an accident.
In your car, have jumper cables, a shovel, cell phone charger, and plenty of extra warm clothing.
I'm filling up the car. I got groceries being delivered, and my husband's getting gas for the snowblower.
Jenny Bowers, a teacher in Minneapolis, hoping for a snow day.
I just want to see what happens, and we'll be prepared. I can stay home and watch lots of Netflix.
Now, La Crosse will be hit with a week of snow, so if you're low on groceries, stocking up before the storm hits would save you from going out during hazardous conditions.
Well, speaking of hazardous conditions, that is going to start here as early as tonight for the La Crosse area. As of right now, we're looking at some of those cloudy skies beginning to move in. Temperatures are at 12 degrees, wind chill values of 2 below, though. And as we take you through the rest of the day, we're going to increase the cloud cover as the day goes on, with snow likely to start as we head into the late this afternoon and also into early this evening. Forecast overall today, 30 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Again, that snow here arriving later in the afternoon to the evening. Southeast winds at 10 to 20. For tonight, snow is very likely. Temperatures at 21, and some of that snow that falls may turn heavy at times too. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So for your DriveCast, things are looking pretty good this morning. Partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy though for the mid-commute. Still looking okay there. By this evening though, that's when you want to watch out. Take it slowly, reduce your braking distance, and also give yourself plenty of extra time here too on your way back home, because we could be looking at some of the snow here moving through, and again, it could turn heavy at times as well for your evening commute. We'll talk more about this coming up in the full weather forecast after the break, but also coming up in our Buzz Report, the artists who have announced upcoming tours for new albums. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, this morning we're definitely waking up to a mostly cloudy sky, as you can see there behind me from a City Cam 8, as those clouds will continue to increase here too, by the way, out ahead of the strong winter storm that we're watching. Current temperatures now in La Crosse at 12 degrees, same temperature downtown as well, a feel like of 2 below when you factor in the wind chill. Current conditions to the north in Eau Claire are also looking cloudy. Temperatures here 11 degrees with feel like temperatures of -4 when you factor in 13-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the west-northwest. Current temperatures across the Coulee region, well, mainly into the teens out there. We're looking at 14 in both Sparta and in Black River Falls. 10 degrees currently in Viroqua. Boscobel, you're 14. Prairie du Chien looking at 13 degrees. As we head into the afternoon, conditions will continue to remain on the cloudy side, with snow likely to move in late this afternoon and also as we take you into the early evening hours. And as a matter of fact, while you were sleeping last night, winter weather advisories were posted. We have one here for Rusk County, but the rest of them are mainly down to the south. This is going to go from 6 p.m. today through 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's because snow is expected, especially in these spots that you see highlighted, and also impacts to the morning and also the evening commute are likely here too. And that's all because we're watching this winter storm system. Here is the beginnings of it right now, centered across the northwestern United States. Plenty of cloud cover and also snowy weather here being spawned. This system is expected to move in our general direction, and already you can see major winter weather alerts are in effect here for portions of the central and western United States. In fact, some spots like portions of northern Montana into Wyoming and also portions of the Dakotas and into portions of Minnesota are under blizzard warnings. Meanwhile, here in the Coulee region, we are under a combination of winter storm watches and winter storm warnings. The winter storm warnings are mainly to our west, while the rest of us here around the La Crosse area, or including the La Crosse area rather, are under those winter storm watches, but I do expect these to be upgraded to a winter storm warning here soon, as we're expecting heavy snow here with very gusty winds and travel concerns. Definitely a possibility here too with this system as it continues to move towards the east. And we'll start to tap into some of that snow here by around the early lunch hour here today. And then you can see a very narrow area of snow is expected to set up by early this evening here too and begin to spread across the Coulee region, especially as we head into tonight. And some of this snow may even turn heavy at times before we start to see the snow here beginning to taper as we head into overnight. This goes to 3 o'clock this morning, and you can see a couple of scattered areas of some light snow. And then by early sunrise tomorrow morning, we start to see the snow begin to taper even more. Maybe a couple leftover scattered snow showers, but it's out ahead of the second round that's expected to move through. So here comes round number 2, especially by tomorrow afternoon. It's going to start moving north, and a lot of us are going to be engulfed in some heavy snow here, especially by tomorrow afternoon and also into tomorrow evening. Now, by tomorrow night, we start to see this begin to settle down just a little bit, but you can see by 10 o'clock Wednesday, still looking very snowy here. And then here comes the main axis of the low beginning to move our way. That will spawn some more snow showers just out ahead of it into early Thursday. And the snow, by the way, will continue through much of the day Thursday here as well. So here's round number 1 showing snowfall totals and a very sharp gradient here across portions of Minnesota into portions of the Coulee region here in Wisconsin, between 4 to 8 inches. Meanwhile, areas to the south looking anywhere between 1 to 4 inches of snow. Now, this is the second round moving through, so if you combine all of these totals between Tuesday through Thursday, on top of what we're already going to see here with this first round moving through, we can see around a foot of snow or just over a foot in many spots, on top of very gusty winds that are expected anywhere between 30 to 40 miles an hour this afternoon, and also as we take you into the day on Wednesday. Still looking very gusty out there, but by the time we reach Thursday night and into early Friday morning, we start to see the winds calm down as that low pressure system begins to exit the area. So beyond these alert days, as we head into Friday, it'll be colder with a high of 18, 33 on Saturday. So we'll be a little bit warmer here as we head into the weekend. Now, as we take you into early next week, a wintry mix is possible. That's from our next storm system that we'll be monitoring as we head into next week.
Well, in our Buzz Report today, there is a lot happening in the entertainment industry, especially at the box office. Avatar: The Way of Water has passed Titanic for 3rd place on the worldwide all-time box office chart. At $2.24 billion, the sequel is still more than $500 million behind Avengers: Endgame for second and nearly $680 million behind the original Avatar for first. With the 2 Avatars and Titanic, James Cameron holds 3 of the top 4 highest-grossing movies ever. Singer Jelly Roll, with hits on the country and rock charts, announced a new tour. The new emerging artist will tour with a group of friends opening for him, including Ashley McBryde, Chase Rice, Elle King, and Struggle Jennings. The Backroad Baptism Tour supports Jelly Roll's upcoming new album and starts in Mississippi in July. Tickets go on sale Friday. Pink is also gearing up for a fall arena tour. The Pop Stars' new album, Trust Fall, was released last week. The 14-stop Trust Fall tour kicks off October 12th in Sacramento, California. General tickets go on sale Friday. Now, I don't know if you guys were here in the previous hour, but Derek Sibley here revealed that he is very old.
What? I'm only 28. Come on, that's
He
young.
hates concerts.
Oh, please. Like, I've never said such thing as hating concerts.
Okay.
But I can't tell you the last time I was at a concert, but I've been to concerts before. I'm just not really a concert guy,
I'm going to
so
need
speak.
physical proof.
That's fine.
Okay, Derek said that he just doesn't.
Ticket.
Derek said he just doesn't like concerts.
I'm not a huge fan, but doesn't mean that I'm necessarily a lame person.
I can make you a huge fan, starting off with the Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with
she's
Taylor
got
Swift.
like 12 albums. You can find a song in there that you'll like.
I know you always talk about Taylor Swift. She's a big Taylor Swift.
I love Taylor Swift. I'm her biggest fan.
You're the biggest fan there.
All right, well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
All right, we want to wish a happy 8th birthday to Lyric. Lyric loves to help her dad at the farm and go swimming. So happy birthday, Lyric.
Happy 8th birthday to Isla. Isla's grandparents hope she has a wonderful birthday.
Happy birthday to Brinley. Now, she loves to hang out with friends and family.
If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Well, stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Time for your morning news now. Wisconsin spring primary is today And voters in the city of La Crosse will be asked to narrow down the 9 candidates for La Crosse's 4 open seats on the school board. Each voter will choose 4 of the 9 candidates. This primary will knock the number of candidates down from 9 to 8. Turnout for the spring primary is typically low before and after the referendum failed. Multiple groups said communities should have more of a voice in what happens to La Crosse schools. Candidates also said they want to help those voices be heard. Although it's Wisconsin's spring primary today, the school district of La Crosse's latest referendum won't be on your ballot until the April 4th elections. If it passes, the 2018 operational referendum will be extended an additional 6 years. The district will host a number of informational sessions ahead of the general election, the first coming this Wednesday at Longfellow Middle. All community members are invited to attend and learn more about the referendum. We posted more information on news8000.com. The race for the open seat on Wisconsin State Supreme Court is also on the ballot today. Wisconsin has 4 candidates running. The conservative candidates include former Justice Dan Kelly and Waukesha Circuit Judge Jennifer Darrow, who presided over the Waukesha Christmas Parade case. The 2 liberal-leaning candidates are Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell and Milwaukee County's Janet Protasowicz. The top 2 candidates in today's primary, regardless of their party, will advance to April's final election. The polls today, keep these reminders in mind. Bring a photo ID with you. If you need to register, bring proof of your current address like a lease or a pay stub. If you're unsure if you're registered or don't know the candidates on your ballot and want to know additional information about them, go to myvote.wi.gov. Today is also Mardi Gras. Celebrations across the country will take place today, but students at Crucifixion School in La Crescent got a head start on celebrations on Monday. Activities for the 150 kids in attendance included a toilet toss and cakewalk. The event helped fund field trips and supplies for the kids. It was the biggest event of the year for both the parents and the students.
And as you head out the door this morning, we are looking at some scattered snow showers that will move in late this afternoon into early this evening, especially with temperatures well into the 20s. That's after we get through a pretty quiet and cloudy morning, though. 8-day forecast showing that alert days remain in effect through Thursday. We're looking colder for Friday, mostly cloudy skies, and that will last into Saturday. But at least this weekend will be slightly warmer. Highs around 36 on Monday with a chance of wintry mix from our next system moving in.
All right, thanks for that, Derek. Now, everyone, glad that that snowstorm is coming in after today,
right,
so everyone can get out there and vote. Thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. We will see you back here later today. Drive safe.